Thank you for tuning in. You are listening to It's Covered, the insurance podcast. I can't even get the intro out.
Sorry.
And most people listen to this on podcasts and they don't even know what was going on. This is It's Covered. If you think insurance is boring, you're not doing it right. What? Now I'm off kilter. What are we doing? I don't even.
Sorry.
Or for the listeners, he was deliberately trying to mess up my introduction by watching himself in the camera as you're leaning back and forth.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I am Paul.
I'm Mel.
Thanks for joining us. So, yeah.
So this time you wanted to continue a conversation that kind of from last time, right?
Yes. The reason I paused right there is I realized I did not put the little microphone into the camera. So this is going to sound great on podcast. It's not going to sound all that great on camera. There's so much stuff going on at once. It's amazing that I remember any of it. So, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
So, thanks for joining us. Yeah. So, for most of you, it's been a week since we last met. For the two of us, it's been about 5 minutes. But we kind of started on a tangent last episode when we were talking about speed limits, and it's a worthwhile topic. For all of us, because this definitely does have a lot to do with safety on the streets for us as insurance professionals to kind of understand better how accidents happen, what the dangers are and stuff, and that is that I guess is a subset of road rage that doesn't include you slamming into other cars, right, and pulling out your concealed carry pistol and making threats and fighting each other on the street, because we've seen those videos and they're amazing. Yeah. But that instinct in us to play amateur cop on the road and to spread justice.
That's right.
With our vehicles. Yeah. And what I'm talking about is it starts off as just that general annoyance of when somebody is passing us on the road. We know we're going the right speed because that's how we drive, is the right speed. Yeah. And so people going slower than us are going too slow. People going faster than us are going too fast.
That's right.
Because we have the magical Goldilocks speed always, and that's always the case, right? Because we're never driving down the road and somebody passes us and going, yeah, I'm going way too slow. That guy's going the right speed.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
But it starts off with the annoyance at that. And it grows from there. And then it happens that, you kind of see that guy swerving around to pass you. And so you suddenly hit the gas. So you close the distance between you and the car in his lane in front of him. Yeah. So that he can't squeeze in between you. And then immediately you slow down and go exactly the same speed as that car until other cars catch up. So you can build like this whole little wall that he can't get around, and then you start passing.
You're that guy.
I've done that before. I've done that before. Not anytime recently, but yes.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. But, or you see somebody coming behind you going what you consider too fast. And so, you position yourself in front of them and slow down and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
teaching the other guy a lesson.
Yes.
And because he had no clue before you taught him.
And that's normal. And look, for all the road rage videos, honestly, that's normally the result. Is that they now that they have time to think because they're not going so fast,
Right.
they lean back and go, wow, how fast was I going? That's kind of insane. I'm so glad that, green Ford, or red Mazda, got me to slow down and realize the error of my ways. That happens. I'm willing to bet that happens 75, maybe even 80% of the time.
Yeah. And that's I know this firsthand because my wife is one of those people, but she never drives.
Does she listen to this podcast?
No.
Oh, okay.
She never.
I was wondering because last few episodes you've been doing my wife stories, and just want to make sure.
This is my therapy. So she never drives. So who is hearing it? Me. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, some guy cuts in front, or slams on the brakes or is driving too fast. It's always, you never honk your horn at him. Why? Because he just did this and he needs to know what? Know that he shouldn't do that. I don't think honking a horn is going to teach him or make him realize something that he didn't already know. He knows how he's driving.
Right. Well, and to that point, and this happened to me right after college, so it's been a while. For those of you who are not watching, I'm not 24 years old. My birthday is in a couple of days, actually, and I'm not turning 25.
I am
27.
Paul's not.
Turning 27. There you go. And so this was quite a while ago, but I was driving home from work, and this guy cut me off, and then slowed down dramatically. Not like slammed on his brakes, but just slowed down. And I saw him watching me through his rearview mirror. And he was waiting for me to make some sort of gesture or honk my horn or do something. And I didn't make said gesture. I didn't honk my horn, but I did kind of do a dramatic eye roll. And he immediately did this wave, and I'll show the people on the camera. It was from reverse, so he kind of did this wave like this, and then he sped off. He was just waiting for me to be annoyed, and so I could have honked my horn at him, and maybe he would have learned his lesson, become a better person, and this world would be a better place today. But that doesn't happen. You honking your horn on the road is about as effective as you trying to convince people of your politics on Facebook. It just doesn't.
That's a great analogy.
It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. That's great.
All the people who are annoyed at that same car are going to go, yeah, he honked his horn at him.
Yeah.
And the guy who had his horn, was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's
unless you're trying to get the attention of a parked police car that is right next to you, it's not going to do anything.
Right. And so, one of the things that this does, and this is just from kind of a spiritual and well-being point of view, is when we get annoyed and uptight about what other people are doing on the road, it's literally affecting 0 people in the world except ourselves.
Right.
And it's part of this kind of overriding pride in our lives that people should be accommodating us. And they should not be driving that fast because I don't get away with that.
Right.
And so they should be going my speed. It's what we were talking about earlier. The Goldilocks speed is whatever speed I'm going at. That is pure pride.
Yeah.
That is absolute pride that does that. And that causes us to think that person is going too slow because they're going slower than me. That person's going too fast because they're going faster than me. Somebody speeds past us and we think that person should get a ticket. Why? I mean, has that person hurt anyone? Have they got, I mean, and sometimes sometimes they're reckless with it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not speeding down the road. I'm not trying to justify myself here.
Right.
I have these same feelings when people pass me too. But if they're causing us to swerve off the road, that's one thing. But if I'm maintaining my speed, I'm maintaining my lane, I haven't been hurt. Mm-hmm. No one's been hurt.
Right.
The only factor is they're getting away with something that I'm not getting away with.
And our last episode really expounded on change on the road.
Right. Yeah.
So if you didn't hear that, go listen to that and then come back here.
Oh, no, we're going to get back into that too.
Okay.
I mean, this is at best. This is at best what kind of the low burn road rage
right.
is doing to us. And it is only doing it to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we need to be aware of. We need to be really cognizant of when we're on the road, because this is literally something that is making our lives worse, and nobody else's.
Right.
Is not making anything better. And it's just an outburst of our own self-focus, our own pride, our own desire to be in essence, the center of the universe. And when we are wishing harm on somebody who hasn't harmed anybody, that's something that should be giving us pause. Hmm. Now it gets worse from there, because if we are going to be ones that react to that, and for people, wishing they could see the video of this, we just lost our camera.
Yeah.
So no video today.
Teach it a lesson. Honk at it.
Yes. If we're gonna be ones that start reacting to that, then that's when we start causing change on the road.
Right.
So the person that's going consistently 10 miles per hour faster than us, but is not making anyone change lanes, is not swerving anybody off the road, is not running people over, they are not causing change on the road. But when we start hitting the brakes, we start trying to punish that person.
Right.
We're causing change on the road. And change on the road, like we talked about last week, is the thing that causes accidents.
That's it.
Yeah. Everybody, and for those who don't remember or didn't catch it last week, just imagine a road where everybody is going competently 80 miles per hour, and consistently. There's no accidents on that road, because the road is doing what everybody expects it to do. We're all going the same way. We're all going the same direction. We're not making any changes. Nothing unexpected is happening. When unexpected things start happening, changes on the road is what causes accidents. That's why we get side swipes. What are side swipes? But, cars making changes in lanes. Rear end accidents. That's a change on the road. The car ahead is putting on their brakes, and the car behind does not put on their brakes fast enough. T-bone collisions. What do they happen at intersections where there's change constantly.
That's right.
This is why intersections are so dangerous. It's because it's a constant state of change. And country straightaways with no cows or deer on them. And, last night, I didn't tell you this, last night down the road, I was here pretty late, and, I had a friend tell me that he had to stop on the highway, going west from here, because of a group of feral pigs on the road. That causes change,
yes.
And people hit animals because they're, it's the same thing. It's like all of a sudden there's something in front of you were not expecting. And so we're trying to bring justice on somebody else, but we're actually making the road more dangerous to do so.
Right. And that's funny that you you bring up justice to the road and trying to, trying to bring that to the road and justice, and you bring up the animals. And the reason that causes change is because people don't like hitting animals. They want to preserve animals. Mm-hmm. They're in the road, so I'm going to swerve and try to avoid the animal, which is fine if you're the only one on the road and you don't mind being at fault or for an accident if you just run off the road. But that's not going to save an accident. I mean, if something comes in the road, and if it's something movable, try not to do extreme evasive action if you can avoid it. I understand they're animals and you don't want anything to happen to them.
Yeah.
But just do not cause an accident by trying to avoid another one.
You know, I had when I was growing up, my sister, my dad, and I had this conversation of, you know, because there's squirrels everywhere and stuff, and it's just one of those things. Is like, you know, hey, if a squirrel jumps out in front of you, make sure you know what's going on around you before you hit the brakes.
Right.
And my sister was like, but then I'll hit the squirrel. I was like, well, yeah, but if there's a, you know, if in whatever you do to avoid that accident, you cause an accident with people who can get hurt, then, you know, you don't want to do that.
Right.
She was like, but I need to save the squirrel. That's a big thing that we like. We don't want, we don't want harm to come to animals, but,
right.
You know, if it's going to be, you know, if it's going to be a person or an animal, it needs to be the animal that gets hit.
Please pick the person. Yes. Please pick the person as being the one to
not
save.
the one that hit.
Right. Not the one to hit.
For those of you who are confused, we're not hitting the person.
That's right.
Gosh.
Don't hit the person.
That has to be explicitly said.
I know. I mean, when I said it, I'm like, why do I have to say that?
No, because it's, I mean, and a lot of people have brought this up that like in movies, it's like Independence Day is the prime example of this. Like the aliens are attacking the world and like people are being blown to smithereens, like millions upon millions of people are being disintegrated.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and saw this in theaters, and I saw it many times in theaters because I love that movie, like the whole crowd, it like everybody's taking it in stride until the dog might die.
Yeah, yeah.
They're calling for the dog, and everybody's now getting really tense. It's like millions of people are now piles of ash.
Yes,
and you're worried about the dog. You know. But yeah, that happens quite a bit. So yes, these things must be said. But
was that dog the president's dog?
No, that was Will Smith's dog.
Oh,
his well, it was with his girlfriend.
Okay,
in it, yeah. But the dog ends up with the president's wife. Because
gotcha.
I can't remember any character's name in this. So
I don't know.
Will Smith's girlfriend,
yes,
and the president's wife, end up together. But the dog is safe for those who are wondering. There's actually a website of, I think it's like, does the dog die? And it's before it tracks a bunch of things. But if you want to go see a movie and you're scared the dog is going to die, like you can't handle that.
Yeah. You
could go to this website and it's, you know, it tracks a bunch of stuff, but it's like, you know, does the dog die? Yes or no? And then like farther down the list is, does the child die? That's not the name of the website.
Oh, wow.
It does track that. It tracks a bunch of stuff, but it's like, but that's, you know, but that's not what people are concerned about. They're concerned about the dog.
Please tell me they're not looking at this site in movies like Saw or something like that, right?
I'm sure Saw is listed, but yeah, that'd be a little, you know, a little much. Like, you want to go see Saw? Well, I'm a little concerned about the dog.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to see this.
Right.
This, slasher film where people are cutting off their hands.
And it's funny because I joke because I live in a household with, people who love pets.
Yeah.
And I joke because I'm always having conversations with them about it and joking. But, I guarantee you, if I'm going on a cruise or on a boat and somebody brings their pets, I'm not getting in a boat with them because I know they're already against me because they're going to choose the pet. So
did you see there's a Far Side comic that's about that?
No,
it's like, oh gosh, I can't remember exactly the quote, but there's 3 guys and a dog in a lifeboat.
Yeah.
And like they're drawing straws as to like which one they're going to kick out or who's not going to eat.
Right.
And they're like, well, Carl, I'm sorry, you got the short straw. So, you're going to
I'd say there's just no way out, like that situation. There's no way I'm going to get it. All rationality would leave. I mean, if I'm looking at rations in my hand and I'm with another person and his pet and he's wanting me to split it 3 ways.
Everybody's going to be against you. It's like,
Exactly.
Sorry, Melvin, but, little Rockers has to eat. You'd be son of a bitch.
That's right. You drew the short stick. You have to go under. I just don't get it.
Oh wow!
But anyway,
we're so far off topic.
Anyway, yeah,
I'm not sure what y'all expect.
It's because we can't bounce things off our coworker anymore. That was the big pet lover.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yes.
Yeah. So
that was fun.
It comes out now, but
oh, long story short. Okay. What are we talking? Okay. Road rage. All right.
Yeah.
So at, as we escalate things with road rage, of course, now we're getting into active accidents and stuff, which we have talked about look, if you're causing accidents because of road rage, you are not going to have your car covered and you're going to have to talk to the police about that.
Yes.
So that's going to be a bad day for you. And, it's just, it's one of those things. It's like we don't acknowledge and like an infinite right of yours to play police on the road.
Right.
We do have a thing called citizen's arrest. Citizen's arrest does not include slamming your car into their car and punching their lights out.
Right.
That's not citizen's arrest.
Right.
That's assault. And you're going to go to jail for that. And so, obviously, and it's an intentional act. So your insurance is not going to pay for your car when you get out of jail. You're going to have an old junker to deal with. But, obviously this is the tail end of, kind of that same route, that same route that I am the arbiter of justice and the people who are not doing what I want them to do are wrong, possibly evil, dangerous individuals. And we justify it, like we were talking about last episode, we justify it saying, that person is going to cause an accident. And so instead I make everybody in danger of an accident. That person's probably not going to cause an accident. It's
right.
Very unlikely that person is going to cause an accident. You trying to spread justice, much better chances at causing an accident.
And if you do have an accident, you're most likely going to realize that you are in the wrong when you're talking to your insurance adjuster.
One would hope.
They're asking you, what course of action did you take to avoid the accident?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's going to be a big thing for a lot of people. And I remember distinctly, and this was while I was in college. So, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
There you go.
Plus some more,
Yeah.
I was coming, I was on the feeder road. And for those of you who are not in Houston, a feeder road is an access road that will take you to the freeway. But I was on this feeder road and I was about to get on the freeway, and this car tries to swerve around me just to get on the freeway a little bit ahead of me. And it was high traffic. So we were going to slow down like right away. There was no point in him trying to do this except that, he just wanted to be one car ahead. And I wasn't going to let him. And we came remarkably close to sideswiping each other, because he was not going to let me not let him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won, by the way.
Yeah.
But I can't, we must have been inches away from sideswiping each other. And in my head at the time, because I was young and stupid, in my head, I was thinking, well, he's trying to get into my lane. I have the right of way. If we get into an accident, it's going to be his fault and his insurance is going to pay. And that's not the case.
No, it's not.
That was, I have a responsibility to try to avoid that accident. And frankly, it's been a couple of years now. Who cares? Who cares if I got on the freeway second or first, or he got on first or second? Who cares?
Yeah.
It would make it has made zero difference in my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm risking an accident because of pride, because I think that my way is right on the road, and I am going to enforce my justice.
That's right.
And that's not my job.
It's a no-win situation in that, because if you get in the accident, the questions are going to follow like this. What happened?
Yep.
And as soon as you describe what happened, the guy coming over, did you see him? So you're either going to have to say, no, I did not see him, or I did see him.
Right.
At some point, you're going to have to admit that you saw him coming over.
Yeah.
And then they're going to say, did you take evasive action? Which is slow down.
By evasive, do you mean aggressive? Because yes. If not, then no.
Exactly.
But yeah, and that's the thing. We got those calls all the time in claims.
Yep.
It's like, no, he came into my lane.
Yeah.
No, I had the green light.
That's right.
Okay, you're going to risk somebody's life, because you have a green light?
Yeah, exactly.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is literally insane, and we do it every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I had the green light and he ran it. How do you know he ran it? Did you see him? Yeah, I saw him coming.
Yeah.
You're already lost that one.
Right. Yeah. And even if you are found not at fault on that one,
yeah,
you still risk somebody's life over it.
Exactly.
And so, this is something that I had to learn. And I had to, to really address my own pride, and I used to be kind of in the low to middle area of the road rage, like never actually actively causing an accident. And I wouldn't have done that, but, very, very much, very willing to, like how I literally would have called it at the day is spreading justice, like some kind of road vigilante, like Wolverine.
Yeah.
And, exactly like Wolverine, not, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the driving Wolverine. That's what I'm going for.
There you go. You tried to be nice, but you were pushed to the limit where the claws had to come out.
Exactly. I called everybody bub. Listen here, bub. Yeah. So, so long story short is, I think this sort of thing is much more prevalent than we want to admit in all of us. And, realizing that, kind of confronting your own pride on the matter, I think is a very healthy endeavor, and has been in my life. And, I'm trying not to, get angry and give gestures to people on the road.
Yeah, I get called out all the time on my little passive aggressiveness on the road when I get that passive aggression going. Unfortunately, my wife knows all of my tricks. Mm-hmm. So as soon as something happens, any change in the vehicle, whether I'm changing lanes, speeding up, slowing down, she just looks at me and says, "Don't do it." And then I'm like, "What? No, I know you. Don't do it." And it's what you're trying to speed up because you want to box them in. And then I'm busted.
Boxing is classic.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, that's my move.
Right. Yeah. And that's a really interesting point. We're going a little long, but that's okay. The passive aggressive approach is so tempting for us because there's like a built-in excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like because it's not active,
Yeah.
It's just, well, I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
That's
like, what I'm thinking. And I know it's wrong. I know it. And like I said, I get called out on it and I laugh because it's true.
Yeah. 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 It's just that. Yeah. And the box-in is a very popular one because I think it does give everyone an excuse because you can just say, "Oh, well, I was just, speeding up to try to keep up with everybody in traffic. And, the person right beside me is going the exact same speed as me. So we must be all going the same speed, aren't we?"
That's right.
So it's so tempting to do that. It's like, you know what? It's not worth our time. It never is. As many times as we've done stuff like that, it's never actually helped our lives.
Yeah.
It's never helped anybody's life. And so, you know what? If the guy can go that fast on the road and not get caught, good on him.
Yeah.
You know what? If he didn't cause an accident, he didn't get caught by the police, well, good for him. He made it to work a little bit earlier.
That's right. And you got to avoid having to deal with a claim.
Right. Or the police.
Exactly.
Or the condescension of adjusters. You're like, and what did you do to avoid?
Yeah. But he was in the wrong. He got a ticket. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. And then you'll get slammed into the wide world of claims percentages, comparative negligence.
Yeah. Comparative negligence is something we got to hit. Oh, goodness. Okay. We're not going to get into, last episode we started a new topic before we finished.
I know, yeah.
It just flowed into this episode. We're not going to do that here. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, I need you to do me a favor, though. I know y'all are enjoying the show. I know that because you tell me. I know because you keep listening. But I would not know that looking at our reviews, and that's my fault. I haven't asked you to rate and review us on iTunes, on Google Play, on wherever it is you listen to us. But I would really appreciate it if you would do that. That's one of the ways that people find us, is that they run across our podcast. They're wondering, hey, is this any good? Is this worthwhile? And if they see a few reviews there, letting them know what kind of podcast they should be expecting, they're more likely to check us out. And so please do jump on iTunes. It take you 5 minutes on Google Play, on if you watch us on YouTube, or wherever it is, and rate us, review us, and that will help people find us, and so that we can grow as a group and continue to help each other. So we do appreciate you listening, and we will be back next week.
Bye bye.